Everybody, oh, let me pull my drink over just a little bit there. Welcome to the show. Jeremy AT, don't recognize your name. Cam, good morning. Rex, Eric, Don, Ivan, Brian, Helen, Rosalind, Kenneth, Robert, John, Major John, good to see you. Swinborn, all the way from Iceland. Francois, Ted, Ed, Kevin, David, George, Craig, Amy, good to see everybody. Diana, ETL, I want to say ELT, Mercy. Anyway, morning. Wade, Philip, Jim, Rob, Dan, Maurizio. Welcome everybody to the show. If you want to chat with me, like all these fine folks, all the fine people saying hello, good morning, all you got to do, click on the button right over here, be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat and say hey and ask questions. And remember, if you got requests, today is the day. 30 minutes of awesome. Last week we had to bump it to Wednesday, but today is Tuesday. I'm going to do 30 minutes of awesome. Comes up at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Set your alarm on your phone. That's 4 Central, 3 Mountain, 2 Pacific. I don't know Hawaii time or Alaska time. It's like 5 a.m. Hong Kong time, I guess. Anyway, welcome everybody. Just a reminder, if you want to do requests, come visit the show. I need people there. Otherwise, it gets to be a lackluster show, you know? So, sorry about delay this morning. Whatever reason, the copy button wasn't working on my main computer. Like I was like, copy, paste. No, it didn't work. So I had to use a backup laptop, and it took me an extra minute to get the images and all the stuff set up for the message in Discord. Who is sick of hearing about Apollo at this point? Anybody? Anybody not even know what that is when I say it? Well, if you don't have information about it, just a reminder, you can go check it out right here. Let me pop it back over. Let me put this in the chat. If you want to check it out, you don't know what it is yet, right here. Right here. If you missed Apollo, right there, you can check it out. So, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go check it out. And moving on. So, Goldman Sachs burned down the AI trade yesterday. I mean, just burned it down and put out a long article about it. And I haven't even read it all, but let me share the screen. I mean, it's, too much spend and too little benefit, basically, is the bottom line for their global macro research. It sucked up a ton of investment capital, but not really produced any killer application. I mean, picks and shovels phase. We don't even know. Like, what is the transform? Like, there's lots of coulda, could be, should be, maybe would be. There's lots of talk about the potentials. And this reminds me a lot of the .com bubble phase. We were anything with a .com after it, pets.com, just anything you could think of, any product. I'm gonna build a website. Just you could literally throw spaghetti at the wall, put a .com after whatever it wrote on the wall, and then launch a company with that and get investment money right up until the end. And that's kind of the way AI is. Like, anybody can say, "Hey, we're doing AI," and people pump in money. And where's the benefit? Where's the real benefit here? We do have some fascinating tools that are coming out: ChatGPT, Claude, and Google's whatever they're calling it now, Bard turned into whatever. And it's cool. It's interesting. It can help do some sales stuff right now. I mean, there's some interesting little tools. Like, all my thumbnails are AI, but how does that help you? Other than, you got a cool thumbnail for the video, but it helps people like me get more done, but it doesn't increase productivity further than me, really. And I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Arthur just got done. Request show tonight, 5 p.m. We can go through anything you want to see. But, Goldman Sachs really burning down AI here. And then NVIDIA got a downgrade yesterday, or I guess over the weekend. The cracks are forming in this AI trade right here. So it's definitely one of those situations where you need to be careful. All right. There's lots of high flyers. SMCI, high flyer. NVIDIA itself, high flyer. AMD rode along, but it's already gotten somewhat of a pullback, and it may experience more pullback. I'm out of my long position as of yesterday. Actually got hit the target. I got profit, but it's still below that resistance, and that was all based on Apollo alerts from back in May, and it just, I don't know, when this thing unwinds, be careful. All right, the picks and shovels may have been, as Goose was talking to me, it was probably what, 3 weeks ago, Goose, we were talking about the fact that they may have sold too many picks and shovels for a little bit, and the glut may take it down a little bit. So anyway, yeah. So Nvidia to justify a $3 trillion valuation for Nvidia, to address Water Zero's comment, they're going to have to sell tens of billions of dollars of GPUs or AI processing chips or whatever you want to call it for like every quarter, every month, like tens of billions, pretty much every month for like 10 years, just to justify where they've gotten to. Now, if they take a 50% haircut back to the price to sales around 20, then they're probably still overvalued, but they're probably more more in line with where they should be. And that puts them back at like 1.5 trillion or maybe even $1 trillion market cap instead of $3 trillion market cap. I fear that a lot of people are going to lose money on that. So please, for the love, be careful. And where did I pick this stuff up? Zero Hedge. Do I say to read Zero Hedge and believe it all? No. Is it a source? I look at it as an aggregator. It pulls in things that I would not otherwise see, and I don't necessarily agree with the article here and what it is, but I do think it's interesting that a trader desk put out a report about how AI is too much spend with too little benefit. And if you're a pro subscriber, which I'm not, I'm like a premium subscriber, but not a pro subscriber. So, all right. And then as this one's been over here for a while, Go Premium. I'm a premium, even though I'm not logged in right at the moment. So anyway, that's what I had to say about AI. It's just another warning, another crack, and another. I mean, maybe he listens to me, but he got his idea. Goose has a theory that a bunch of the trading desks watch my stuff. Anyway, there you go. Tesla already had it up because it was hitting alerts yesterday, and look at that. Look where I drew the resistance. Watch out for retrace. We definitely are going to see resistance right there. Right there is the resistance zone. Right into the target. And we're already trading lower this morning. Be careful out there. Popping over before we talk too much about trades. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments or anything from gurus, all right? Don't buy stuff from me. Don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy bonds, don't buy Forex, don't buy futures, don't buy cryptos, don't buy treasuries, don't trade them, don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them, all right? They all involve a substantial risk of loss, even the treasuries. You can say, well, treasuries are the safest thing you can do. Until they're not. Until they're not. So be careful, all right? Everything, especially trading treasuries, involves a substantial risk of loss. Just ask all the banks that are sitting on treasuries and they're upside down right now. All right? Be careful. Be careful. Now, if you desire personal financial advice, make sure you trust that person before you hire and consult them. Nobody's going to watch out for your money better than you are. All right. You taking a vested interest in your own money. Hopefully that's why you're here. Hopefully the people that aren't here are the ones that need to hear that more than the ones that are here. All right. But alas, there's so many people that think other people have their best interest and their money at heart. Nobody's going to take care of you, but nobody's watching out for number one but you. All right. Nobody has your best interest in mind. It's like, I'm here from the government. I'm here to help you. Yeah, right. GTFO. Anyway. Well, glad you're safe in Houston. I saw some flooding in Houston. I know my friend Rob Booker was on his way last night back to check his house in Houston. He said some trees were down. He wasn't sure what was going on. So I didn't hear from him after he told me he was on the way there. So anyway. Dun, 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 dun. Back to what's moving today. Look at that little doji up there. What do they call that? Evening star, maybe, with the once the rest of it forms. Be careful. Be careful. There's Goose. I was just talking about you, my man. Wow, ES rallying up. ES was really flat a minute ago, and now, yeah, kind of flat overnight. Right there's the reopen at 1800. 1800, right there. I guess all the way over here. And just churning and burning right there at the highs overnight. Cautious. Do we get the extension? Do we burn this out? The same support level I mentioned yesterday down here, 5450. That's the warning zone right there. You see how we bottomed out for almost a whole week coming into July. We break below that. Watch out. Oh, look at that. Hess is a sell target. Dun, 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 dun. That's an echo trade. And it stopped out. Bummer. Moving back over. So S5FI, stocks above the 50-day. Yesterday, just churning right in the middle. Slightly below the middle, but that means 55% of S&P 500 stocks are below their 50-day moving average, and 45% are above. Not looking too good. And the 20-day stuff, just churning in the middle, not showing any strength, not showing any drops. And there's a win stopping out. Yep, I thought it might be a stop out. And stocks above their 200-day continued to push lower yesterday, despite the new highs in the S&P 500. Watch out. We are now at the neckline again. See this coming across here. Now, this is not a tradable chart, and this may or may not be what's playing out, but this looks like a head and shoulders pattern to me. You can tell me in the chat if you agree or don't agree. It's kind of a head. You know, the shoulders are very much the same size as the head. We have a little bit higher head, a little bit lower shoulder, almost a flat neckline. If we push below this, we can very quickly push on down to that 45 to kind of match the stocks above the 20-day and the stocks above the 50-day right there. This is just a broad brush read on how much participation we have going on in the market right now. Stocks above the, like, commonly, many trading desks and many pundits, other than yours truly, will use that 200-day as like things are in a bear market if they're below their 200-day. Like, I've seen that so many times about Bitcoin lately, that it's below the 200-day, it's now in a bear market, blah, 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 blah. Come on now. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, look at this. I meant to click on the crypto heat map, not the stock heat map. And maybe I don't even have it up. Let's go look at the... Dun, 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 dun. Where did it go? Oh, cool. There it is. Crypto heat map. That's the one. That's the one. Now, year to date, it's hard to say. Hard for me to say that Bitcoin is in a bear market if it's up 35% for the year. Ethereum, 34%. Solana, 38%. I mean, look at these. There's some wicked numbers in here, all right? Hard to say it's in a bear market. You know, oh, it's entering a bear market correction. I don't know. Year-to-date performance still bullish. Now, could it give it back? Could it go back to zero? Could. There's always that possibility. But these are the stronger performers here in crypto, and I caution you. Now, when you look at the stocks, when we take out all the crap that's not really performing, you're down to 3 stocks in the 4-hour in the last week. What's performing this week? There you go. What's been performing this year? Another alert there. You just turn all this stuff off and look at what's performing. There's been a lot of stuff performing this year. Look at that. NVIDIA up 167%. Outperforming. Would I bet against it right now? Not really. Do I think it's due a correction to be more in line with some of this other stuff? Yeah, probably. Probably. Now, if you want to know how to get to this, it's just you go to product under trading view, products, heat maps right here. You can get these things. This is just the SP 500 index right there. It's a handy dandy tool for popping in here and looking at stuff. Now, stuff you probably want to avoid. Oop. Clicked on all those instead of. This is the stuff that's not performing this year so far. Adobe, J&J, UNH. And that's like the biggest component of the Dow right there as far as moving the points. McDonald's, look at that, 16%. Comcast, UPS, Nike. I mean, there's quite a few companies on this list. Right there, equal size. These are in the S&P 500. These are the things that are dragging us down. And Monster right there usually kills it. Not doing too good. You see a lot of consumer products in here. A lot of consumer products. So be careful. Be careful. The cracks are forming. Be careful. All right. NQ pushing on up. Watch out. We're going to get the top sometime before long. We're at that 272. We don't typically just keep climbing and keep climbing, but the next one up, 21, basically 21,300 would be the next fib up. 22.8, 23.8. And if we just go straight effing ridiculous in the market, could be 28,000 right there. If we do that, it's likely to do this very, very, very sharply. Be careful. Russell still just churning right there below resistance. Watch out for it to break the support at 2,000 and go flushing on down. 190 or 1900-ish. Probably the first line of support that we could see a bounce from. This one's probably ultimately going down to 1,500 to between 13 and 1,500. And you're like, how do you trade that? IWM here. We'll probably make a first stop around 180, 190, make a bounce, and then head on down to the targets down here, 130 to 150 on IWM. All right. Oil. And we'll go through other charts and tickers tonight at 5 p.m. Give you a little broader market analysis. Oil probably doing the thing that I said we're going to do, right back to the roadmap line, do a test. If we hold there, $90 upside target right there. It's probably the path right there. Bounce, GC. Wicked candle yesterday. Not sure. I don't like the fact that it did that. This not high probability, but a lot of times we do see an initial break above and then a retrace back to test the breakout before we get continuation. The most famous one lately, this one right over here, back over here, right there. That one right there. That was from 2022. In October, we made the bottom, came up into December, retraced late December, broke above in January, into February, retraced into March, and then we never looked back. We may be set for a little final squeak right there. The nature of this was too much too fast. It's even arguably even steeper than what this was back here coming out of COVID. And it's right on the same kind of trajectory, right? And we could squeak it out right there. That would be an echo of the move. Look what we did. We did that last time. We did this back there. Really makes me nervous here. Really makes me nervous. Could come back to 4,700 very quickly if we did that little. We did that. We go vertical. Probably coming right back down. And it could get worse very easily. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. That's what I gotta say. All right. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is stuck on the roadmap line on the futures. Stuck. That's a good sign so far, but we're stuck. We need to get up out of here. Gotta get some positive momentum going. Now, how long could it churn? Could churn a little while. We sat on the spot market. We satisfied what we need. We're gonna have to make. We made a higher low yesterday. We got to make higher highs. We got to get above this up here. Gotta start beating these prior highs on the way down. So there's resistance right up there at 63. I think I mentioned that yesterday. Looking for that to get up out of here, beat that zone to get the upside move. Ethereum holding up really well and actually looks slightly better initially, but we need a move up and a retrace and continuation. So trend, pullback, continuation, that's kind of what I do. And part of trend, pullback, continuation is looking for reversal setups so you know when a new trend is happening. So that's what we're looking for here. Is the end of this downtrend and the beginning of a new trend right there. Dollar, and probably going to tap that roadmap line, and then we'll see, does it break down? Does it break up? We had the Apollo firing off a daily alert here. That means the target is up here at 106.87, and the likelihood of that occurring based on historical, which past performance not necessarily indicative of future results, but the historical win rate of this pattern when it sets up 86% of the time, the dollar will continue to the target hanging out right up here, and it usually takes 40 candles to do that. So we fired off right here. That means it's going to be out to like August time frame. The entry was here. That trigger, 40 bars right out. Oh, do I have enough? Do I have enough? Right there. Right there. Right there. August 16th would be the average. Now, could it take longer? Absolutely. Could it go faster? Absolutely. That's the average. So the average time frame, sometime in August for this thing to fart around and get up there. All right. We could bottom out here and go ripping up there and result in a large market pullback, just as correlation, not as causation. Remember, correlation and causation not the same. Just because the dollar's popping does not mean the market's dropping, and just because the market's popping doesn't mean the dollar's rallying either. All right, they're correlated when they're correlated, not when they're not. All right, 100% of people that are confused correlation and causation have ended up dead or will end up dead. It's not correlated in causation. Yeah. Anyway, MSTR was on the poppers list. I guess still is based on the $2 move. That's not a great looking candle, and I kind of expect it to flush on down and actually hit. Might that be more weakness in Bitcoin? It could. So be careful is the name of the game. But if we hold here, that's basically a measured bounce setup. Could result in a pop up here in this. Let's see, put this back on the log mode. There we go. Everything looking better. And we could pop it right up into this 24 to 2800 zone right up here. Lily getting a little pop today. Very nice, even though, you know, everybody said it was going and it's going to get a big flush because of the macular degeneration, whatever, the eye problems, and then boom, right to new highs. These GLP-1 drugs, so strong, this play. Although NVO, the other one, is on the biggest losers list down here. So watch out. Those two not necessarily created equal here on the list. They both need a correction, but I don't know. It doesn't have to. It's a paradigm shift. It's a what do you call it? Exclusionary category. When you have paradigm shifts in the market, they can not do the pattern. So NVDX is a leverage long on NVIDIA and highly dangerous for a pullback. SNGX, look at that. Dumpster fire. Wow, really big dumpster fire. Dumpster fire right there. Don't trade that stuff. Don't trade that stuff. Don't trade that stuff. I mean, not only is it pharmaceutical, it has reverse split after reverse split. Oh my gosh. That's so dangerous. Don't trade that. Zap. Didn't Zap used to be Zapatos before Amazon bought it? Z-A-P-P. Another dumpster fire. I don't care what it's doing here. It's probably going down. Whether it's today or tomorrow or next week or next month, probably going to do that. Probably going to do another reverse split. NVDU. Why are they called a reverse split? Because, okay, you have a stock split. It's not a merger. They didn't merge with anybody, all right? They took 20 of your shares. So if you had 20 shares, now, after the reverse split, you now only have one share. Like NVIDIA, right here, NVIDIA, they did a regular split, stock split, 10 for 1. So if you had one share, now you have 10 shares, but they cut the price. So in the case of Zap, they took your, say you had 100 shares, now you've got 5. So if you were selling, if you had 100 shares, you were selling an option, selling a call on it. Now you have 5 shares and you can't do squat. But what it does is it multiplies the price by 20. So it was that, you had 100 shares and they were $1 a piece. Now you have 5 shares and they're $20 each. But yeah, it's the most bearish thing. I'm not seeing any. I'm not really seeing. I'm not saying never seen. It's just upwards of 99% of the time we see reverse splits, especially when it's multiple reverse splits, like we see right here. These companies don't ever recover. It's just dangerous stuff. Sony breaking out above the resistance. That's a positive sign right there. And still lower highs. But we might have an upside target up here around 122. It's not huge. It's just about $30. only 30 bucks. But if it does break that zone right there, we could end up here at 160, which would be, that'd be pretty fair, about 70 bucks up. Almost an 80% gain or so. ACLS. Coming up, still below the, put that to the actual bottom, still below this resistance up here. I expect we'll see some resistance in this zone right there. If we can get above that, sets it up for 228 on ACLS. USD, Ultra. So remember, when you see Ultra anything, that word means leveraged. All right? Be careful. The leveraged ETF on semiconductors. Can it go higher? Sure. Next fib up, 200. 200. And coin, I still want this to hit the roadmap line. If you don't have the roadmap line, you want it. Link is in the description. It's like $5. You get the code, you get the indicator, you get the easy button. I have the links for Thinkorswim in Discord. I have all the instructions to put it on any platform at all. I mean, it's a real basic thing, but it's so powerful. Then I have the masterclass that teaches you how to use it and in a basic way. And then, then I give you a watch list for like 3 months. And if you want to upgrade to add another year to it, it's like 20 more bucks. I mean, it's the most affordable, stupidly affordable thing I offer. Goose says he won't even talk to you unless you have it and understand it, because it's that fundamental to everything I do. So looking for this thing to come on down right there. And then I'll probably buy, if we hold and turn and burn here, I'll pick up a position. But I really want to see it hit there. Otherwise, I'm going to have to wait for it to break on higher before I'm willing to get involved on coin. NVDL. And Goose has a theory that these things truncate my zones when there's a lot of people watching them, which there's a lot of people watching coin. NVDL, 2x long on NVIDIA. Can it go higher? Absolutely. Is it extremely dangerous? Absolutely. And NVIDIA coming up into that resistance zone. Watch out. Watch out, watch out, watch out. We filled the gap down. Watch out. Could we go higher? Could. Every dollar this moves is $25 billion in and out of the market. How do I know that? Well, check this out right here. Check this out right here. Nope, not that one. This one. NVIDIA financials. I say 25. It's $24.6 billion for every dollar that NVIDIA moves right there. Number of shares times the dollar is the number of dollars that it takes to move the share $1. So $1 drop is $25 billion coming out of the market. $1 pop is $25 billion flowing into the market. Cap of NVIDIA. That's crazy. You may be like, well, what are other big companies? Look, Apple, $1 share price is $15 billion. That's less. All right. And you may be like, well, why is it less? It's just the number of shares they have outstanding times the dollar. You may be like, well, Microsoft is the biggest one in the land right now. That's only $7 billion move, $7.4 billion of market cap for every dollar it moves. The smaller the amount of money it takes to move, the easier it can flow. All right. So NVIDIA went a little aggressive when they did their 10-for-1 split. They put almost $25 billion shares out there. So it takes, every share has to increase by $1. So that means $25 billion worth of value, essentially, rounding off, making it nice and even every time NVIDIA moves $1. So it's just really scary to me right now. Really scary. And looking at infinite market cap, take a brief checkup over here. Refresh for the day. Oh, Apple's back on top. Interesting. Apple back on top here. They're fighting it out right here. These two. This one about, well, it can catch up pretty quick, but it's going to have to rise about $10, it looks like, to get back in the mix. How do I know $10? that $25 billion right there, we're about $200 billion shy. $10 puts it back up here in the mix. 25 gets it up at 3.5 trillion. Now, think about it. For NVIDIA, for any of these companies right here to double, if any of these were going to be a double, like 2x their share price, it's going to take $3.5 trillion, $3.45 trillion, $3.245 trillion of money to double those share prices. Even Google, $2.35 trillion to double their share price. Amazon, $2 trillion to double their share price. I mean, that's a lot of money and kind of unlikely. Now, more available. I mean, we could bump up Meta from 1.3 trillion right up in here and double the share price, right? So opportunity, like big numbers, hard to move those higher. Smaller numbers, easier to double, right? Tesla right here, that could like 3x or 4x even before he got up to the big numbers up there, up to the 3 trillion. You can do like 4 times. So you take that right there and make it 1,000 times 4. That puts it right up in the top. Now, is Tesla worthy of being at the top? I don't know. You tell me. That's a sentiment thing, right? Just pointing out the law of big numbers, all right? When you're at the big numbers, grinding higher is very difficult. Very, very difficult. All right. I digress. Anyway, TECL, that's another technology bull, ramping on up. Next target up, probably up here at this 128 area, right up in here. Decliners, stuff that was down for the day. Helena Troy. Oh, ouch. Look at that gap down. Ooh, ouch. Not too good. That's what I'd say there. You gotta watch out when they're hanging out below the roadmap line. Man, oh man. That's a lower than we've had for... They didn't even go that low in COVID. Holy moly. This definitely having some problems. I don't even know what the devil they make. Manufacturing, distribution, personal care, and household products. Operates the home and outdoor beauty wellness segments of home and outdoor segment. Let's go look at this real quick. Okay, OXO, Hydro Flask, Osprey, Honeywell. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of brands I don't necessarily think of belonging to Helen of Troy. Pure, Braun, Vicks. Okay, interesting. So, consumer not doing too good is what this says to me right here. Consumer not doing too good. Be careful. If they're having trouble selling stuff, that could be the end of that. Ooh. Ooh. That's... I could come back in here. $3. Ouch. Could go out of business too. And that could take a while. Like, remember how I've been talking about this could take a while? Look at the years. 2035. It could take a while. Man, that looks bad. INDV, another one. Not too good. That's pharmaceutical though, so don't really care. ADSK, Autodesk, that's design software. Was on the droppers list, and I guess it still is droppers list. And just in the middle. Hadn't really broken out, hadn't really broken down. got kind of a watermelon seed squeeze situation, stuck at resistance. This may result in another leg down. This first move down, projected, oh, moving the wrong thing, projected off of this right here, could take us down to 175 area, back to the lows we had in 2022. This has not been strong. Think about it. The market rallying higher, big tech rallying higher. This is arguably a big tech type company, and they're just farting around basically in the bottom consolidation where we found the bottom here in 2022 and could go lower. QCOM kind of projected we would bounce up here, bounce back down here. We did that very quickly, just a couple days. The next target up, if we're going higher, lower likelihood, but if we're going higher, 280. If we break down below this orange box here, probably coming on down to the roadmap line, if not deeper on QCOM. NVO, like I said, would really use, I guess not needs, but could really use a retrace to the roadmap line. Hadn't been down there in, gosh, since October of 22. And looking at Lilly, it hasn't been down there since March of 23. So both of those very extended on the upside for GLP-1 plays. NNE, nanonuclear, watch out. This is a fad situation and can and probably will drop below these prices over here. I don't care who's saying that nuclear is whatever. It's going to take there's going to be a lot of chop in there before we cruise higher on nuclear stuff. So be careful. Now, as I said earlier, 5 p.m. request show. So if you have requests, come visit me at 5 p.m. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up here with my bias for the day. Cautiously bullish. We could push on up. A target up here. If we get there, it's going to be an epic drop. This is the support right here. The one I'm watching right in here. That's support. That's resistance. We're stuck in the middle. Be careful. Be careful, everybody. Be careful, be careful, be careful. I'm going to hang out in Discord. I'll be back at 5 p.m. live with 30 minutes of awesome. The only request show I do each week. I'll see you later. Stay safe out there. The account you save may be your own.